What's going on, YouTube? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here for mail day. A long overdue mail day. I have been holding off on this for a while because the postal service is super backed up now, as you guys are probably all well aware. So I was waiting for some stuff to come in. I'm still waiting on one thing, but I didn't want to delay this too much because I got some stuff in here I want to talk about. So let's dive right on in. So this is essentially stuff I have been buying recently. I went on a little shopping spree, chilled out for a little while, started selling stuff again. Went on this shopping spree. I was about to go on another one, and then my iPad died. So I had to buy a new iPad. So that cut into some card money. Or I used card money to pay for the iPad. And now I am back into a little mixture of the two, both buying and selling. So we got a mix of all three sports here today, actually. We got baseball, basketball, and football. So let's start with the basketball first, because that's the cleanest and simplest. And I also have a new, trying a different camera angle today for this. I think we'll cut down on the glare a little bit. So we're going to give this a whirl and see how it goes. If you guys like it, cool. If it doesn't make a difference, cool. So this stack here is all second year Trey Young. So as we've seen recently, the trend is in second year cards. Luca's second year base prism. I don't have one laying around here, but I have one somewhere. Is like a $50 card now. Now that is Luca. Trey Young is not Luca, but whenever next season starts, Trey Young's going to start dropping 40-point games left and right, like Trey Young tends to do. And his prices are probably going to go crazy. His Prism rookies are already pretty far up there, and most of his other rookie stuff, it's still, I think he's still slightly undervalued compared to where everybody else is, but his stuff's getting expensive. And I don't think the market has fully shifted to his second year stuff yet. For example, I got the three of these on a deal on Discord. This is a Ruby Wave, which looks really good on in the Hawks colors. I thought centering was a little bit better on this. I thought this might be a grading candidate, but it's too far off center. But I got a good deal on it anyway. I got this, the Hyper, which these are notoriously off center. It's very hard to grade these, and just a base. I got all three of those for $30, and that's kind of what set me down this path. So I got a really good deal on this. You're probably not going to pick these up this cheap off eBay, but I have been buying them off eBay. And I haven't gone through these yet to see what's gradable here and what's not, but this is all just second year base. I've been trying to get these for $8 to $10 a piece, whether in lots, preferably in small lots, or individually. I got, let me look at my spreadsheet really quick. I got 6 for 50. I got 3 for 30, but this is all with shipping and everything. So I've been picking up some of those. I might buy more. I feel pretty good about this. This isn't something I want to go like all in on. But if I find more for sub $10, especially if I get like a large lot, if I get like a lot of 10 for like, $90 or something, I'd probably jump on it. But I just feel like these at $10 or less are just a cheap investment, even just to hold on to raw. Like I said, I haven't gone through these yet to see if any will grade. If any of them will grade, I will probably send them off to PSA. I think PSA 10s in these, I haven't looked to see what they do recently, but they do decent for a $10 card. But it would be more of a long-term hold. And as I talked about in the last video, you want to be buying things to grade now that you want back at the beginning of next basketball season. Most PSA orders are a 3-month turnaround. If you're using someone else, it could be longer, whatever. So if I send these off, say by the 1st of September, I get them back around Christmas time, 3 months, maybe November, just depending. Who knows? But regardless, I'm looking at November, December to get stuff back from PSA right now. If I submit next week, so that would be perfect timing for these. I'd be getting these back right as the season is maybe starting. That's still a little up in the air, or it's trending in that direction. And his hype's going to build as the season starts, and then I have these back graded and ready to rock and roll when he starts going crazy in games. So that was my recent basketball pickup. Something more budget minded too. I know a lot of you guys don't have um, hundreds of dollars to throw at Lucas or whatever. To me, this is a cheap, low risk investment at $10 a card or less. If you want to spend a little more and pick up some parallels or whatever, cool. But I would just focus on the base trays for $10. Like I said, to me, seems like a no brainer based off of what we've seen other second year star players go for. Like go look at like what Tatum's prices are going for in 18-19 stuff. It's crazy. Lucas stuff is crazy. And I think you're going to keep seeing that spinning forward as, you know, a PSA 10 Prism Tatum is $1,000 now. If you're a Celtics fan or a kid or whatever, you can't afford $1,000 for a PSA 10 Prism Luca or Tatum rather. So you're going to go look for the next best thing and maybe get yourself like a nice silver for 50. So I just think the second year Trey stuff is super cheap right now. I just don't think people have caught on to it yet. And they probably will. So another thing, let's move on to football. Actually, let's say football for last. We'll do football now. Screw it. So as you can see, got a new, in addition to the camera angle, I got a new mat for the desk, the old Cleveland Browns logo. And as part of that, I have been buying Mr. Odell Beckham Jr. We talked about this on the football video that I did. I'm coming around, as we talked about in that football centric video, that this new money doesn't care about quarterbacks being what everyone buys. And I think they're going to focus on all the other positions that didn't used to get the love. And we are already seeing that if you look at whatever platform you want to use to track market trends, market movers, card ladder, slab stocks, pyramid genies, whatever. The prices on these skilled position players are going up, and they're going up quickly. So it's just a matter of finding guys that haven't seen the spike yet. And to me, Beckham is the prime case for this. I got these for what did I pay for these? Look at the old spreadsheet. About 22-ish a piece, 23-ish a piece. I got these. One was a big lot of 5 I got for $100, and then the other one I got for 20 or 25 standalone. I don't think any of them are gradable. These are almost like mosaic level rough grades. You can see they are all silver, and surface issues are rampant on these. A couple of these may PSA 9. If you look for PSA 10s of these, the pop count is ridiculously low, like under 100. So if you come across a PSA 10 for a reasonable price, I would think about gobbling it up. So my theory on Beckham is that I'm trying to separate my Browns homerism from him. Is when this guy was a Giant, he was the most polarizing, popular player in the league. He was all over Sports Center, all over NFL Countdown. He was basically the face of the league. Makes ridiculous catches, puts up huge numbers. And last year's with the Browns was a disaster, but hopefully this year they could figure some things out. And if he starts doing that stuff again, I just think his prices are going to go to the moon. He has a huge fan base. And the media loves him. They love to put him on TV. Whether it's his highlights or his shenanigans or whatever, they love Beckham. So, he makes a couple one-handed grabs, a nice 2-touchdown, 175-yard game. And I just think his stuff goes to the moon, given his potential star level. And for $20 a card, It's kind of uncharted territory. I don't think any of us know what football market's going to be like this year. We're all guessing, and we could see some trends. But to me, Beckham's a no brainer. If Chris Godwin's prices and guys like that are going crazy, then I think Beckham's a solid buy. That's just his base Prism 2014. Like I said, if you could find graded in that, good luck. I also picked up, and this is not gradable, but it's a really nice looking card. This is his Topps Chrome. These are basically anyone from the 2014 class. This is essentially their two primary cards that you want. Not necessarily the X Fractor, but Prism and Topps Chrome. Prism will be more desirable and harder to find. Topps Chrome still holds pretty good value. I got this for $20. I just thought it was a nice looking card. It's not gradable. It has some, you might be able to see it right there. That cross. Hard to see on camera. But there's two print lines on it, as I blind you guys. There's a couple print lines on it, so it won't grade. But for sub $20, I think I get this for less than $20. I just really like it. It's just a nice looking card, and I really like Beckham to begin with. And then the last Beckham card that I got, I also feel like I got a good deal on Topps Chrome PSA 10. I picked this up for $75. Someone threw it up. They've been going for close to 100. Someone threw it up on a buy it now, and I had a search alert for it, and I went and checked, and the guy had just posted it, and I knew because I'd been looking at Beckham cards that $75 was about $10 to $15 less than what it had been going for. So I just instantly bought it. He had best offer up on it. Um, I'm sure I'm not the only one that this has happened to, but you see a good deal on something like this and you get greedy and you say, "Oh, let me put a best offer in for 65 and see if I can get a little cheaper." And then next thing you know, it's sold. Someone just buys it now because it's a good deal. So I didn't think it was worth messing around with the 10 or 15 bucks, the 5 or 10 bucks that I might save by doing best offer. So I just hit the buy it now button at 75. I think this card's already a decent amount over 100 bucks. Uh, but by the time it got to me, so I feel pretty good about this one as well, being in a PSA 10. And even though that's the Topps Chrome, the pop counts are still pretty low on that. Not as low as the Prism. I would love to get a Prism PSA 10, but I think it's going to be too hard to find. And I think people are starting to catch on to Beckham because I've seen his prices slowly creep up as we move closer and closer to football season. All right, last one to talk about is baseball. This was one of the ones that I was waiting on to come, and it actually has not showed up yet. This is a Soto PSA 10. I've talked about this on the channel already, but I finally got him. I picked these up the night that he went crazy with the 2 home run game and the Gary V tweet and all that jazz. I got the second one is not here yet. I was waiting for this one to show up and the second one to show up before doing this video, but I just didn't want to wait any longer. I'd waited long enough. I picked one up on Discord for 175, and I picked a second one up on My Slabs for like 215 shipped or 210 shipped. The nice thing about My Slabs is you don't pay tax unless it's the same in state. So when I pay 210, it's just straight 210. There's no like another 10 bucks in taxes and shipping or whatever. So this is the My Slabs one. The Discord one should be here soon. It got stuck literally in the postal system for like almost a week with no updates. And then finally today it left Chicago and is on its way to Ohio. So these are going, I bought them basically for an average of 200 a piece, a little less than that. These have already shot up to about 275, 260, 280. They kind of bounce around a little bit. And this is the paper. In hindsight, and this is me not necessarily knowing what I'm doing in baseball to a degree, I wish I would have got, and I know that this is breaking the norm, but I wish I would have got the chrome or at least one chrome, one paper. I just do not like paper cards. Um, it looks fine, but to me, the chrome cards just look so much better. And I understand that traditional baseball is paper or whatever, but from an investment standpoint or whatever, their prices are relatively close together. And as we've talked about before, the chrome seem to be gaining in popularity. So, I wish one of these was in a chrome, but it's fine. I'll take it for what I got it for versus what they're going for now. But it's a really nice looking card. I've debated flipping them, but there's really nothing I have my eyes on at the moment. So I think I'm just gonna hold on to him. I think Soto could be the future of baseball. Uh, as he's just been going crazy this year. He's batting like over 400. And then the next one is, which I think I talked about this too, um, the whole Chrome thing with the Soto and the Tatis and some of the other stuff that we've talked about in the last few videos led me down this path of Acuna. Um, so for those not familiar with baseball, or if you are familiar with baseball, his what's called his bat down. I don't have one. Is his like gold standard PSA 10. They're ridiculously expensive. They're a couple $1,000s at least. They're super rare. They're very short printed. And then he has a regular paper that is not short printed. I forget what set it's from because I don't know baseball well enough. So someone out there is probably yelling at the camera right now. That's fine. And that one goes for like 300 ish. Well, he got hurt. A minor. He wasn't playing that well. He had wrist discomfort. Went on the IL for 10 days. Um, and his prices creeped way down. So I targeted his Topps Chrome. I was looking at both the Chrome and the Chrome update. I only managed to get some regular Chromes, but I've been picking these up. This is his base Topps Chrome PSA 10. Nice looking card, nice looking picture, and I really like it in the Chrome. So I have 3 of these. I got these all for, I want to say, between $90 and $100 each. I don't think I paid over 100 for any of these. And before the season started, these were going for close to 150, 160, I think. So they'd come down quite a bit. And I felt like people just kind of forgot about them. And so, like I said, I started picking them up. And once again, I went for the Chrome. His paper dropped too. It's quite a bit more expensive. Like I said, it's about 200 or $300. Um, so I figured, you know what? Let me go with the lower value card and get more of them. So I basically got 3 of these instead of one of his papers. And this is already starting to climb back up. Um, as of last night, they were in the 120s. Now they got a little boost because one of the larger, I'm going to just call it groups, pumped him. So his stuff shot up a little bit last night, and it's probably going to shoot up a little bit more. And he also got activated from the DL today, or IL, whatever the hell they call it now. So if he plays well at all, I can see his stuff going back up again. Now, my plan here is if these get back up to 150 ish, I would, and this is the way I like to approach this stuff, and I've talked about this in a lot of videos. Um, if these get back up to around 150, I would look to sell 2 of these off. So sell 2 off, uh, get 300 back, which would essentially pay for all 3, and then this one's I got for free. That's really the way I like to play this game. Um, Everyone probably has their own system. This is the way that I like to do it. Get some of them like this. They go up. I sell off these 2. Those send off to the next buyer. And then I have this one that I essentially paid nothing for. Whether that's smart or not, maybe I'm better off to hold all 3 and maximize my profit later on down the road. But to me, this lessens the risk. If the bottom ever falls out of this thing and the whole thing comes tumbling down, I spent nothing on this. So if it goes to nothing or he tears his ACL or whatever, um, and his career's over tomorrow for some reason, you know, was there an opportunity cost of not selling it and getting the $150 on that? Sure, but I've essentially mitigated all my risk. I've recently done. We're getting slightly off topic now, but that's okay. Give me 1 second. Here, sorry. Michael Porter Jr. So his stuff is on its way down. He went way up because he had those monster couple games, and then the Nuggets, and he went to the bench. And we talked about him in the weekend review video about his prices crashing. So what I have done with Porter, I bought this right before they spiked. I got this for $200. It shot up to 500. It's probably down to sub 300 now already in the course of like 2 weeks. Welcome to the sports card market in 2020. Now, I had four raw base, or I'm sorry, three. I had six base raw prisms that I had picked up earlier in the year through various different places. I got some from a large lot, and I got some back in the early winter for like $8 or $9 a card. So I was in them for like next to nothing. I think my average per card was probably like it couldn't have been more than $12 or $13 a card, and it may have been less than that. I think I got four of them for sub $10, and I picked up two of them for like $15, give or take. So I had six of them. One I sent off to PSA because it was the one that was in the best shape. I sent off to PSA in my one of my last two submissions, and the other five I held on to. So I got this that day his prices spiked. It was up $300 by the time it got to me. So what I did was I sold two of his raw at what ended up being close to peak value. I got like 70 or $80 a piece for him. Sold those. So I still had three left plus that. So I basically sold those to essentially cover the cost of this. Not quite, but I got like 150, 160 for those after fees and shipping. And this cost me 200. So I basically paid $40 for this. His prices started to come back down. Just a couple days ago, I sold the last three raw that I had for 50 each. So I got 150 for those three. So between the five raw that I spent, maybe $30 on, I sold for a total of almost 300, probably close to 300. Which means that this was free. The one at PSA, $20 to grade it, plus I probably spent 10 on the card. So I'm still plus $70 on Michael Porter Jr. And I have a PSA 10 red, white, and blue, and whatever the base prism ends up coming out to be, whether it's a 9 or a 10. I think it'll 9 or 10. I'm hoping for a 10. There's no way I see it getting less than a 9. But it should, knock on something, it should 10. So out of my Michael Porter Jr. investment, which at that point in time was six raw prisms and a PSA 10 red, white, and blue that I was into in total for maybe $270, I now made $30 on that, have a PSA 10 red, white, and blue, and a mystery PSA coming back in probably like another month or so. So essentially now I'm free rolling MPJ plus some money. So an MPJ is someone that I wouldn't mind holding in the next season. So once again, that's kind of my basic approach when it comes to buying and selling. Is if cards spike like that, don't be afraid to sell some off. Now I still struggle with this decision all the time. Luca, for example, to me is someone that you really shouldn't be selling, in my opinion. To me, he's the best long-term hold there is, other than maybe Giannis, and of course, like LeBron, of guys still actively playing, probably followed up by Tatum. That being said, Tatum, for example, I have the PSA 10 Prism that you can see right there off camera here. I have this PSA 10 Select. If they make the Eastern Conference Finals, I bought this for a little under $300, low pop count. If this, like, say, doubled in value, I would not hesitate to sell this one and keep the Prism. Now I'm into the Prism for next to nothing because I bought that last year, and prices on stuff last year were super cheap. So, but that's pretty much what I have for you guys today. Sorry for the long selling discussion. It kind of morphed into that off of mail day, but I have some people ask me a lot, like, what's your approach to trying to sell? And when to sell is one of the toughest things there is. Like I said, it's easy to click the buy button when you like a guy. It's hard to decide when to sell, especially when you see these prices go crazy. Imagine the guys that sold Luca PSA 10 prisms as he's rolling his ankle in half the other night. And then 2 days later, he's hitting a step back game winner over the Clippers, and his prices skyrocket again. And the whole NBA world is throwing praise on him. How did those guys sleep that night? So I get it. It's tough. That's why, I like doing stuff like this with this Acuna example. If these go up, I sell off these two, free roll the one. I'm in it for nothing. It's pure profit at that point, and essentially zero risk at that point. So, and I did the same thing with retail. So, I would find, and I'm going to do a longer form video on this once I get my last SGC submission back, kind of recapping my retail experience, specifically on Mosaic. Um, when I would find retail Mosaic, I would sell off enough to cover the costs of what I spent. So to clean out a Target was about $700. I would sell off enough of what I bought to cover the $700, and then whatever I had left over was free. So I literally had 40 blasters or whatever it would be from a day's worth of grabbing stuff that I essentially spent no money on. So then when you rip them, it doesn't hurt that bad. I mean, yet once again, there's a side cost there because there's what I could have sold those for, but I wanted to rip them. And at that point, when you rip and wax at no risk, like what the hell? So, um, but anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. Sorry for the long-winded ending to this video, but hopefully it was helpful. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff down below, since I probably forgot to mention at the beginning of this video. Like, comment, sub, all that nonsense. We are low 600s in subs, so let's run that train up to 700, and we will catch you guys on the next one.